welcome to Nirmal, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Hita Daria. We have with us Ria Singh, technical analyst, currencies joining in. Ria, welcome to the show. Ria, let's start with the Indian rupee. That's returned to trade above levels of 76.7. What's the kind of direction that you're seeing, and what are the factors we should be watching out for?
I think the numbers that have come in for the inflations, which was expected, but still have put in some, dent into the recovery of the Indian rupee. So inflation numbers on the higher side is playing one of the role of getting the rupee back on the depreciated side. Secondly, I think it will be mostly dependent on what the outcome of the Fed will be. That will another big factor that one should be looking out, whether the there will be a continuation into the this depreciated phase. Because if you look at the other major factors that were uh, lending their hand into the depreciation of the rupee, whether it would be crude oil or the safe havens, uh, they all have been come down a bit or softened a bit into their aggressive upside momentum that we were seeing. So I think this depreciation has come in today on the factor of on the matter on the back of the matter that the inflation numbers have come in on the higher side, and secondly the anticipation of rate hike from the Fed, and I think thirdly, the news that is coming in from the neighbors, especially in China, that there have been widespread lockdown measures that have been taken in. So I think their domestic market has been like 5% down in the intraday sessions, and I think this is sparking again some fear that there could be another wave that will come in and halt the already weak economic recovery that we are seeing currently in the on the worldwide platform. So I think this is one of the reasons that few of the reasons that have been playing on the depreciation part. Whether it will continue to do the same, I think there is the guidelines from the Fed will be very majorly observed. And secondly, there has been again, on 16th, RBI has again scheduled a sell of bonds. And I think taking into consideration the overall momentum that we have seen into the Indian rupee, um, definitely I think RBI is trying to maintain some stability into the Indian rupee, taking into consideration the widened trade deficit that we are currently seeing. So I think it will definitely the major depreciation hand will come only if the RBI breaches the upside of 77.25 and trades above the same, which it had tried in 3 sessions but failed to give a breakout to. So overall, I think it will maintain the range of 77.10 and 76.50 in the coming sessions.
Right, so that's with regards to where the Indian rupee goes. Uh, Clearly, if you go to see many central bank policy meets, are ahead of the speculation that's drifting the market as well. What's your view coming on it?
Like already said, Fed meeting is on the at the par, and any guidelines from the Fed meeting will definitely play or prove some guiding paths into as to where they are seeing the inflation, because even US is struggling in keeping the inflation under control. It is said that the current year could end above and beyond 6.8% in the CPI inflation terms. So I think getting the inflation under the control is the major priority of the Fed, and the same has been stated by the Fed chairman Powell as well. Secondly, I think even on the Bank of England, as the Bank of England meeting is also scheduled on Wednesday, they are again eyeing for another rate hike. And if that comes in, I think it will again squeeze tightening of the free hand, liquidity that was there in the UK altogether. So I think, but taking into consideration the recent events that have happened the speculation was that the Fed could go on, for a maximum 2 to 3 rate hikes. But I think a single rate hike in the coming, a single rate hike could be uh, something that it will go for, because obviously, if you look at the overall inflation, that is the problem. But if it goes on for an aggressive liquidity tightening, it may hurt the recovery of the economy, that which is already struggling from the higher crude oil prices, and and the other macro uh, uh, scenarios as well. So the rest of the rate hikes that there were in talks, that it will go for a 3 rate hikes minimum, I think it could be postponed for a later timeline. So overall, the Bank of England and Fed will be coming up with its policy rate hikes and the guidelines, and if that happens, so it will be something that even the Indian, something that would be considered as the benchmark, and could lay forth the path for the other central banks as to where they see their policy going on amid the geopolitical tensions that is going on.
Right. So overall basis all of this, what's the strategy that you would recommend?
I think the two strategies that one can go for is going up long into the JPYINR above the level of 65.12, with the SL at 64.90 and target at 65.28 and 65.37. You can also go long above the level of in the USD INR above the level of 76.82, with the SL at 76.55 and target at 77.77.10. So these are the two strategies that one can go forward into the coming sessions.
Right. So these are strategies one should be following as well. In fact, Ria, there are two questions coming in. If you could give a pound and dollar strategy as well.
Pound and I think we have already given the dollar strategies, which is going long into it. I think pound is being on GBP INR has been in a downward trend, and one of the reasons being that is the close, uh, how the Russia's warfare is affecting the eurozone altogether. And I think to take part into the strategy right now, into the pound INR, I think one should hold off. Let the Bank of England come with the rate hike and the guidelines as to where they are seeing the economy right now, and where they are, whether they'll do the rate hike, and if they do go forward with the rate hike, what will be the strategy that they'll be holding on into the coming timeline. So I think hold off taking a call, or going short into the pound right now, because if you look at the trajectory of the momentum that is taking place into the pound INR, it has already been a deep bearish slope, and it could be bottoming out, taking into consideration the kind of candle uh, that the pound INR has been forming. There's a long lower shadows that is coming in, though the closure is into the lower lows. It means some support will be coming in shortly into the pound INR. I think one should wait for a reversal in order to take some strategy. And going short right now will be a little risky, because I think it could be a bottoming out right now.
Right. So those are the strategies that Ria is recommending as well. Thank you, participants. Thank you, Ria, for joining in.
Thank you, Eden.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel for in depth interviews of India Inc. and press the bell icon so that you do not miss our updates.